So when you got Glow, because okay, and this isn't me kissing your ass, but I mean,
By all means. By all means.
Glow is, like it's up there for me as far as it was such a good show. I mean,
And
listen, like again, I'm a gay man, so it's women, it's wrestling, it's 80s music, it's 80s costumes. I'm like, sign me up.
I mean, I have nothing to add. Take the words out of my mouth. Yes, I have two things to add. Representation and lifting the limitations of what we thought was possible for ourselves. Those are two major things to add. That like we on our show, we had girls of every religion, every race, every size, every shape, every color, every age. There wasn't ageist, there was every body. I mean, God bless that fucking show, man. I cannot believe we're not making our fourth season.
You and me both.
I can't. I honestly can't. I do
With
legitimately sometimes cry about it. And then I get snapped back into like, we're in a pandemic and people can't choose whether to pay their rent or feed their kids. I'm fine. But I am still very sad about Glow.
when you got it, were you like, because you mentioned you got it like later in life, were you like, okay, this is truly it?
Well,
Like
I'll tell you. So remember when I said I got The Sopranos, and since it was a first season, I didn't know what it was going to be? With Glow, I knew.
you did.
Glow, I knew because it's Genji. And it was these amazing showrunners. I knew that it was based on the 80s show Glow, which I had seen probably in repeats because I think I was very little when it was on. And I remembered it and I was aware of it. And I knew about the Cyndi Lauper and the Jackie Stallone of it all and the camp. And it was so before its time. And it was just women being athletic and powerful and funny and sexy on television. And we'd never seen any of that, right? And now we are here with one of the goddesses of television, Genji Cohan, making the scripted version of that. I have chills now talking about it. I just fucking knew. Um, and we just, it was the, it was far and away the best acting experience of my entire career. And I think, Betty Gilpin and I would talk about it while we were there. We would like have these really cogent moments of like, this is never going to happen again for any of us, right? And we'd be like, yeah, no. Where we are catching lightning in a bottle while a Pegasus unicorn flies by. We catch it in the bottle, and then we all get to do this on television. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And as an actor, for so long before that, right, you get one or two, you go on an audition where there's like one woman on the show and she's either hot or funny. Maybe there's two, like, so you don't really have an opportunity as a actress to really go out there and do what you want. The jobs aren't there. You have to create them yourselves. And then now Glow comes along and there's spaces for 15 rodeo clowns to do their thing.
When you read like the part of like Melrose, is that the part you tried out for? Like, was it, because you hear of all people, oh, I tried out for this, they cast me in this. Was that you were just like, this is it, this is me?
Not
Or
at all. So I read for Ruth a lot. I even tested with Betty for Ruth. Like I was in the running for Ruth, but they also had me read like Sheila at one point and Jenny, the cheerleader, who Ellen Wong at one point who plays. And then they had me read Melrose. And I think she initially was supposed to be Melanie Rose, this like Paris Hilton-y kind of party girl, like that Tawny Katan music video bitch. But then I read on it and I just did a fully different, like sort of aggro, bitchy, cigarette smoking Andrew Dice Clay fuck you take. And they were like, oh, we like this for you. And then they changed her to Melanie Rosen because they couldn't take the Jew out of the Jew. Hi, Glenn.
I love it.
It's the best thing. Best thing that ever happened to me for sure.
And that's, I assume, how everyone felt, like Allison Brie, like that, like you
Oh,
guys
God.
all were
Yeah.
like,
Come here, Glenn.
you were all just like, this is lightning in a bottle, and like, this is the
Correct.
best thing.
Correct. And we all knew. And it's just like, and Betty and Allie had worked so much before. But I think Betty's so incredible with words, but she describes it as like, she was basically like a lollipop with tits in one thing. And then she was the sexy wife waiting in the kitchen for her husband to come home from the war. And like, she was always just like, had to be like, where's my husband? And are my eyes wide enough? And my waist small enough? And my tits big enough? And then we show up on Glow and she gets to beat the shit out of women and play 4 different characters and have that depth and be able to do drama and comedy and music. And like, what is this show?
Yeah. And the fact that, like you said, it's such a good script. I mean, is it still, I guess, hard for, I mean, we've come far on TV, right? Like with diversity and roles for women, but I'm sure that was part of this, like, oh God, this script is great for everyone.
Oh,
That's,
it's completely and totally. Look at my dog, please. And
I
totally.
love her. Sorry, I wasn't paying. Oh, she's so cute.
Hi, is Glenn. He's a boy.
I love him.
He's a nice guy.
He can
Um,
join us.
yeah, he better. He already decided. But yeah, Glow was like really the most rare, and everybody knew it. Like the writers knew it. I mean, everyone knew it. Every department was like, we're making something wildly special here. And the fact that you can make something that profound and simultaneously that funny is like, how dare you?
Seriously. So, right. So it's a huge hit. And then it is coming back. It's greenlit for season 4, and we're all ecstatic.
Over the moon. Fourth and final. So they told us ahead of time, like, we are going to make the 4th, but it's going to be the last one. So wrap up the story. The writers wrote all 10 episodes. We shot 2.5 of them because we started in March. So we shot the shit. The sets were built. The costumes were tailored within an inch of their lives. Everything was bought and paid for and ready to go.
And so yeah.
And then Corona and other stuff. So I think, mostly Corona because it just became like not quite feasible to figure out like how to do it and how to actually make it happen, because now with COVID rules, things take 2 to 3 times as long to shoot because you got to shoot shorter hours. Everyone's got to get tested every day. So if you show up in the morning, there's like hours of testing that happen. I mean, it's crazy. It's not easy to do. And we're a big cast and there's so much contact. And I think they just were like, at this point, we have to cut our losses. Like, we do not know how and when we're going to be able to make this thing.
And is there any chance, or am I living in a dream world that, like,
You and me both, honey. We don't know. I mean, maybe a movie, but at this point, I think like as the days pass, there's like 20 something thousand people signed a petition. And just as the days pass, I think it's like, I don't know.
right.
I'm too scared to say, but I actually don't know the answer. I mean, I don't, doesn't look at this point like we're making a 4th season. That's for sure.